How's it going, everybody? So today we're going to be doing something that's pretty interesting. We've never done it before on our farm. There's a guy bringing a drag line out to move some manure for us. I got this tractor warming up. We're going to put down the manure pump. It's just before 5 a.m. They should be pulling in any minute. I got a batch of feed mixed up early this morning, so it's ready to go. We got the pump set up. We're just agitating the manure right now. We have an 8-foot pit underneath this entire barn with the slatted floors. And so when we go to agitate, we want to make sure we're not having any issues with gases coming up and bothering the cows. So I just opened up the curtains all the way on the end of the barn, opened up the doors. Make sure we get enough fresh air in here to keep any gases moving out. It's usually not an issue, but something to think about a little bit. So they're gonna get their pipe set up now. It's gonna be pretty cool to see how this works. We're gonna be hauling a bunch to the farm across the road that we rent, and he's gonna have to come past this fence. We're actually planning to tear some of this pasture out this spring before corn. Just gonna cut these wires right now so he can drive through here. I got that fence out of the way now. He's got a mile of hose, so he's laying it out right now. So it looks like about I don't know, it's an 8-inch hose when it's inflated there. So he's going across to the culvert now. So they're gonna run through this pipe underneath the road. So we're about a quarter mile down the road from the home farm. So he has a strap pulled through there already. Disconnected the hose over there. Now they're gonna pull it through with the pickup. They're finishing getting their rig set up. I'm getting the feed run out to the cows now. Shouldn't be too long till they're pumping manure out. Pumping about 2,000 gallons a minute. We got the manure pump on the tractor just to pull the manure out of the pit, and then they have their booster pump there. It's 350 horsepower. Makes a ton of pressure to push that manure a mile out. You can see the hose runs around the back of the farm there, under the road, and then over to the neighboring farm that we rent where our heifers are, out behind the pasture, and then into the fields. Got about 60 acres at this farm we could spread on, which is enough that it's worth setting the hose up. So this field here on the right is a triticale field we want to harvest for spring forage. And I wanted him to try spreading some on that one just to see if we see a better crop this spring. He's putting a lower rate than the other fields. One nice thing with these drop nozzles is it's not fanning it out and kind of pushing the crop down and making a layer over it. It's kind of dropping it in between the plants. I wouldn't want to fan manure on that triticale as green as it is there, but with the drop nozzles, it's safe. You'll see now when he crosses into this cover crop field, he's going to slow down a little bit. This field's just going to be sprayed, and then we'll plant corn into it here around May 1st. The big advantage with the Dragline is we're not having to run those heavy tankers out over our fields. It's just this one tractor. It's got big flotation tires on it. Really should help reduce compaction this spring. I'm excited to see if we notice the difference with the corn. Sometimes we see the tracks from the spreaders. We try to not get them in here unless it's dry and fit, but it can be hard to get perfect conditions to run heavy tankers. Here he's turning around at the end, and they don't shut it off. He has to just keep moving. He doesn't have any rate adjustment on the tractor out here. He just adjusts his speed to change the rate and then tries to turn around quick. The guy in the other tractor you see behind him there has controls of the pump from his tractor, but they just leave it run unless they really need to shut it off. These guys do have an injector rig as well. Costs a little bit more. When we fan the manure on like we normally do with the spreaders, you can smell the manure more. It's kind of making more of an aerosol, and you're losing some of your nitrogen that way. These drop nozzles are just kind of landed on the surface, and they say it helps keep some of your nitrogen in place. It was pretty neat to see how they get this all set up. Once it's all working, they can really move quickly. If this works out well, we'll have to get them back in the fall, and they can do the whole home farm as well as this farm. We didn't really want to spread it home because it's all just spring forage and alfalfa crop right now. There's a strategy to how they work the hose so they can get the whole field covered. They have that other tractor there with that reel in the back, so what he can do is drive along and move this hose around when they need to. So this will be all of our early corn filling our first bunker silo. I thought he couldn't drive over the hose, but I guess he can because he just did. With the Dragline, I guess if you don't go across the field the right way, you can end up twisting the hose. So there's a certain way they have to do it so that the hose unrolls every time you turn around. The bearing right there where it attaches, that thing can spin a little bit, but you don't want it to keep spinning the same direction for a while or else the whole thing will get twisted up. This was a field here that never really dries out the best. Always get worried about compaction in here because it's a little bit lower. He can control it remotely from his tractor. There, he just fired it up. then this here is an air compressor. He'll run at the end to clear the hose out. They got that foam ball right there. They'll run that through and push every last bit of the manure out so they can roll the hose up at the end. Didn't take more than 15 minutes to switch the pit there. So they just wrapped up. They spread 525,000 gallons. And now he's got his air compressor running. Just blowing all the manure out. And I'm gonna work at bedding the heifer barn. I was gonna use the manure spreader. And then the 4240 shut off, so we had to switch the 7220 onto the manure pump for the last 15 minutes just to finish up. He's out there wrapping it up. He's got that big reel powered by hydraulics. You can just wind it up. So this is the applicator. It's 38 feet wide. He said they're making a bigger one. It's gonna be 50 feet. I'd say a good chance we have him back again. We'll see if the corn looks any different this year. It's gonna be kind of hard to tell by 1 year. So I'm gonna go ahead and bed the heifer barn now. I stuck 2 square bales in the spreader. Okay, well, I'm gonna get the cows fed. It's gonna be it for this video, guys. Pretty interesting day. Guess we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for watching.